Alright, welcome back to More Than Peachy's Gaming. I'm your host, Mune. And today I want to go over predicting a few things that are going on in Neverwinter. Um, but before we get to that real quick, just a heads up, I've been absent from the game for a few months, and I might not necessarily know everything about the game and the changes, but I'm going to take a crack on exactly what is going on with the game. So, first thing I want to talk about is the changes. There are a lot of them, not so many of them, but how do I put it? There's quite a few beneficial ones, and there are some not so beneficial ones. Uh, and they and the reason behind these are speculative at best. A lot of people are claiming that the changes are because they're anti-botting uh, properties, anti uh, multiple alts, and punishing players for doing the same old, same old. Well, I'm going to say that might be true to some extent, but at the same time, it doesn't apply to everything that's coming our way. So, the changes I'm talking about are the dungeon change, where if you want to queue for a dungeon to get your daily AD, you're going to be put in a pool based off of what you can do, and it's just going to send you to one of those locations, which is not that big of a deal. Um, but then there's also the campaign change, where if you have a character who has completed a campaign, and for those that don't remember what campaigns are the things that you do that are extra. Like, say, I have completed the Underdark, you know, which, as you can see, I have completed it on the left side. I have it check marked, but then there are some that I'm not done with. Okay, they're 100% done, and I've done a lot in these categories. I thought I was already done with this, but it says I'm 100% done, but not necessarily. Okay, but if this were the case, and I was actually done with one of these, you could get a token to give you 50% off the currency at a cost. I don't necessarily agree with the cost, but for some people, it just saves so much time, effort, problems, and the like that I kind of see it being useful. So that's one of the big things. The other big thing I want to talk about are the big changes. Okay, and I'm talking about the changes to refinement. All right, as many people know, enchantments are moving up to uh, rank 14. Uh, Weapon and armor enchantments are going up to 13, and bonding runestones are getting nerfed. Uh, to me, I don't really care about the bondings that much. I have bondings and have used them in the past. I'm not too concerned about it. My biggest concern is mainly on the rest of it. And some people are like, oh, well, it ruins all the refinement. We have no more double refinement events. And it's like, well, because everything's being turned into refinement points and everything's being adjusted and so forth. And there are some things that are adjusted more than others, obviously. And a lot of this plays a part in trying to get the game to be more balanced. So, if a new player, I'm just going to say, let's say if I start out brand new, day one, started in, and I wanted to get somewhere really quick, I could do it. There's a lot of catch up room there. Okay, anybody who is already doing well and has been hoarding stuff like enchantments or stuff like that, they're not going to get so much out of this. I, however, am looking forward to those changes because it's basically like everything's on times 10 refinement instead of a times 2 or just normal. Okay? So it's all the times 10. Doesn't that sound amazing? Well, it gets better. Since they reduce the cost for most things, it makes it so much easier to do everything. Now, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not really too sure. I think it, for the most part, is a good thing, being able to turn things into refinement. So the inventory in your bags are going to be more freed up. You're not going to have to carry around uh, like greater union stones and stuff like that. Everything will be nice and organized. As you can kind of see, I'm not very organized myself, but it means things that would go in there would be like your extra enchantments if you no longer need them. Uh, anything worth refinement. I think artifacts go in, but my prediction on that is because we no longer have the use of feeding, because everything goes initially through the RP. Having artifacts, higher up, they do still give you more refinement, but the problem is that you don't want to necessarily feed them to break them down into refinement. I believe it's somewhere around the 20 rank 21 or 22 mark where it's just ideal for that type of maximum going in, maximum coming out. Um, this will create a small demand, but not a huge demand for those types of things like the artifacts and the enchantments. Enchantments are widely unchanged for their refinement purposes, as in their breakdown about how many points they give versus how much they previously gave to current goals. So, in other words, if something required, I don't know, let's take a look at one of my enchantments. I have an enchantment right here. Let's go with manage this enchantment, and we're going to go ahead and refine it. Okay. As you see, I need a lot of refinement points. It's like 12,000. To upgrade, these numbers will be reduced by tenfold at least, and everything else will be reduced down to 10% of what it previously was. Doesn't sound like that bad, right? But it means that using something like uh, enchantments won't be useful all that much, but you're always getting the same bonus or the double refinement bonus at the same time all the time. And unfortunately, this also gives way to the increasing dropping of refinement items throughout the game rather than you getting just enchantments. So enchantments will become a little bit rarer. They won't be dropping everywhere anymore. And so the price on enchantments, in my opinion, will go up. That means the ones that are like rank 5 that you get all the time and everywhere, those will go up. I think they are currently somewhere around maybe 200 or 300 on the auction house. Let's take a quick look. Let's go with enchantments. We're going to go ahead and rare. Alright, and then we're going to choose buyout. Let's see what they currently go for. They're about 250. It's about right for the cheap end. So I foresee them actually going up because the supply will be going down. Because everyone will think, oh yeah, everything is RP. Throw it into my RP, and then they'll run into the idea that they can no longer get as many. In addition to that, other items that produce RP will also be useful. I have personally prepared for this because there has been in my opinion, kind of a slight loophole to this, and I'm wondering if it's an oversight by Cryptic, or if it's something that they legitimately thought nobody would actually think about, and I've prepped for it entirely. And I will be going through that when I actually go and do it. I'll have another video up and show you exactly what I mean. So I have plans because as you saw in my bank, I had gotten a Forge Hammer of Gond from the event, from the Winter Festival, and it was a bound one, so I didn't sell it, which was disappointing. Last year I got one that was unbound and ended up in somebody else's hands. Kind of a sad day. But the thing that gets me is I have other artifacts that are account bound, which I can't use as feeders really to this, so I didn't bother during the event. But everyone's going to see a different prediction. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say enchantments will go up in price. Artifacts will drop in price. Other things that give you refinement will still be roughly about the same, or they will go up slightly. Uh, as to how much, I'm not really too sure. It could be double. I don't know. Mainly because they will be the main things in demand because you can't really do anything else. Now, the trickiest thing with this is actually figuring out why they're going to be going up. My prediction on it is because just supply and demand. That's really what it's going to break down to. Okay? Uh, it's not going to take as much, but it's still going to take some time. Okay? Everyone I've talked to has said, well, this is going to ruin the game, but at the same time, it might also help a lot of players who are just starting. And for anybody who's actually just starting and not really sure what they're doing, this will definitely help them. So it's kind of freaky that it can be that way, but that's my prediction on the prices of those. In addition, 12B will be dropping. We're getting a new lockbox and a little bit new content. And because of all of this, prices for Zen will fluctuate. And I'm going to make a pretty good prediction here that because of the demand of things that are in the Zen market and how useful some of these things are, especially when you think of refinement with, you know, your items of blood rubies and, uh, yeah, and your wards, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to get Zen, okay? And because of the lockbox also, I'm going to predict that Zen will go up. As to where it will land, I'm not sure. I'm going to make my prediction that it might, and I'm saying this, it might end up capping up at top for a little bit. Now, how long that little bit is, I'm not really too sure. It depends on if there are any events on the PlayStation 4 during this time. If we have a double refinement point event or any other type of double event that relates to money, like double AD, which chances of us getting that are pretty slim, that the price of Zen will go up, okay, fairly high, especially getting to that capping point. If no events accommodate or accompany it, and not a whole lot of people are trying to make it work all the way to the top right from the get-go and not trying to buy lock boxes or open lock boxes and go nuts on them, I'm going to predict that it will roughly remain the same. So anybody who's not been paying attention to it, right now it's about 409. This could easily change to being so much higher. You know, there are a lot of people who would like it to see higher, and there's a lot of people who want it dropped down, basically all the way back down to uh, the first month's prices for Zen. But realistically, the nice sweet spot is between, I believe, 350 and about 450. Somewhere in there is about the nice sweet spot that we will probably see more often than not, assuming that everything goes according to plan and the supply and demand. Now, why am I saying all this stuff, and why do you think this is actually going to be the case? Is because that's just how it is. Now, I do also foresee that Zen will drop back down because there's a lot of different factors in play with that. One, we're in the post holiday season, so we're in the new year, uh, and Zen could drop even further depending on when people file their taxes here in the United States. I don't know how it applies in other countries, but a lot of people here in the United States do get tax returns and then do decide to spend money on things that they want. And Neverwinter is no exception. So that could play a part, and if they, as in Cryptic, decides to make a Zen purchase uh, promotion for whatever reason, there might be more people buying Zen and turning it to AD, and the price of AD actually dropping. The problem with that is that 12B has a lot of things riding on it. It's debating on how many people stay with the game, how many people leave the game because of the changes, how many people will start playing it because this is a post-holiday season simply because it is a free-to-play game and they have already played other games to their maximum or to the point where they have gotten bored. So just a heads up, those are some factors to play a part of this. Um, in addition, I do not know how much Cryptic has really thought things through on this, but I think their timing of this is fairly decent because last year, this is roughly about the same time that we ended up getting Mod 10B, the Sea of Moving Ice. So the prediction on that is it's pretty long-winded, and we've had events pretty much throughout the year that have promoted to hopefully something that will benefit all the new players. Now, if there is a double AD event with this, everything's going to be screwed up. Zen's going to shoot through the roof, and there will be a lot of upset players. Okay? Me, I could care less one way or the other because I simply will ignore it and just go on my merry way because I don't really care about how it's going to work because I'm pretty much all set for the event with a minor exclusion of the upgrade materials. Not the refinement, just the upgrade materials. So I'm hoping that everything works out all right. I haven't even figured out which enchantments I even want to upgrade for the change because as you have gotten a glimpse at it, my gear is pretty much crappy. I have a really piss poor item level. So, because I'm not using anything that's that great, and I'm using mainly rank 5 enchantments. And while my all my artifacts are mythic, it doesn't necessarily make up the difference. So, and you can see above that my loadouts are pre-mod 11.5. So, that tells you a lot about when I played. So, figuring it all out and figuring out how many enchantments I'll need and how much it's going to end up costing me is pretty lucrative. Going into this event, into the next mod, sorry, second part of this mod, oh my god, you have to know how to prepare for it. And the best way to prepare for it is know what you want, have an end goal in mind, and pray that everything works out in your favor. I know already that I will not have all the upgrade materials that I need, but if we get a double refinement point event, I will just put everything I have that I have up my sleeve straight into the refinement, because I'll be honest with you, I have a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean millions of refinement. And some of you might be asking, oh, but is that before or after the change? I'll be honest with you, that's after the change. I can't believe I even figured out this method. So when you guys come back on uh, and watch my next video about this, when 12B drops next week, you'll see what is up my sleeve, why I'm being so secretive about it, and why I am planning this. Now, if something happens and something that I researched was wrong, I'll admit complete fault on this. I just believe that I want to have the best chance of upgrading stuff. Uh, because the upgrade materials, in my opinion, are kind of the key to it. And I'm going to be upgrading my artifact, the Four Chamber of God, all the way up to max. And with what I got currently, I can probably upgrade 30 enchantments. That is from rank 5 all the way to rank 14. Mind you, if I get all the way there, there's nothing stopping me from actually playing content and getting better gear, because honestly, I'm very much under outfitted for a lot of the new content. I have some guildmates who said that they'll take me through the river district and push me forward, but I don't think it's going to actually happen too well or too quickly. And then they want me to go into Chult, because I've kind of neglected everything from, well, Mod 11 onward. Because I basically quit when Mod 11 was out. In addition to that, I need to finish up the Sea of Moving Ice. Oops, wrong button. Campaigns. As you can see, I'm still not quite done with everything. I've been lacking on all sorts of stuff. Like, I haven't finished the Tyranny of Dragons. I haven't finished the Cloaked Ascendancy, even though I started it. And we already looked at Storm King's Thunder. I'm almost done with it, even though it claims that I am done with it. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I just need, it looks like Vonin Blood and some Secrets of Astoria, which I need another 100 of them. So that's going to take forever, in my opinion. But hopefully that makes it through, and those are my predictions. Okay, to just round it right up, I'm going to say 80 is probably going to go up. The cost for enchantments are probably going to, they're not going to go up right away, but they're going to go up gradually. And that the price of artifacts will drop. Okay, because feeders are no longer a thing, and people don't want artifacts that don't do them any good, because it's no longer viable. But that's my prediction. Take it as you would. But 80 will probably go up because of all sorts of different factors. And hopefully it doesn't completely bombard the market, but it is a possibility. So hopefully you took this to heart. Prepare yourself for the next segment of this mod, and be prepared for all the refinement that you're finally going to have, as well as all the bag space you will finally have to not worry about. missing out on because you have enchantments or other like upgrade stones or the like. I'm really happy about them really taking that into account. And I think they've been doing a really great job of streamlining almost everything and every aspect on bag space. And that is including another bag, putting certain things into a whole nother bag for useful items. Cryptic, thank you so much for actually making these changes. Okay? I'm not so happy about your dungeon changes and getting AD, but I'm really happy about this. So, again, thank you for watching. This has been Mune with More Than Peaches Gaming. Thank you and have a great day.